All right, so I got something really cool to share because I still can't believe it happened. I mean, when I travel and stuff, that's kind of what happens. You know, if you've seen my stories about the different things that I've met and experienced. And so I come down into New Mexico, and I was staying in New Mexico for the past few days, but I come more central New Mexico and go to a place. I'm looking around, experiencing some different things, and I find this piece of BLM land that I'm drawn to, and I drive up, and there are wild horses inside, or like you pull in, and right at the entrance, like they're by the houses, they're where the houses are built. Right at the entrance, there's some wild horses. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I took a photo, and I drove in and found a campsite in a really nice spot, shade, trees, the junipers here. So in the heat of the day, you can get some shade. People don't realize when you're in hotter weather, and it's not really actually very hot right now, but when you're in direct sun, the shade, even when it's 100 plus degrees, helps a ton. So I'm always like, got to have my car covered in shade and all that if I can. Can't always do that in the desert, but so I cook my meal with my on my grill. I have a propane grill, and I leave the grill out. And I look at it, and sometimes I put it back in the car. Sometimes I just leave it out. I mean, there's nothing about it. Nothing's gonna bother it. And I hear coyotes. Oh, like tons of coyotes as the sun's about to go down. And I'm like, oh, geez, there's a ton all over the place. And I'm like, I debate on the grill. I'm like, well, they're not gonna play with the grill. It's a grill. You know, it doesn't matter. So I just leave it there because I'll be here a few days. And I go in and I lay down finally after an hour or two watching the moon. And I put a movie on, and I'm just kind of trying to get into a state to fall asleep. And I'm almost asleep. And I swear a raccoon comes up and just starts beating the hell out of the underneath of my car and doing all this stuff. And I take my tripod and I start hammering it because first I think it's the mouse. I have mice that I have problems with. I've had problems with in the car, and sometimes I can get them out, sometimes I can't. So I thought it was a mouse again, and I started beating on the the bed of the car to scare the mouse away. But this is loud. It feels like something's under my car, just scraping it, beating it up. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I've never seen a raccoon in the desert, which uh, you know, it's, you go other places that, you know, on the East Coast, they're everywhere. You can't leave anything out because the raccoons will get it. You know, people are worried about bears, worry about raccoons first. They'll tear everything up. And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen a raccoon, but there's got to be a raccoon out there playing with something under my car. I ripped the back of the window. I have aluminum on the windows, these things here. Um, so I have like stuff like this on the window to block it. And I rip it off, and I'm like, holy crap, there is a horse basically looking in my window. And there's like a bunch of them outside of it, and they're beating the hell out of my grill, just tossing it around, tossing the grill around. And the grill still has the propane tank, one of the tiny ones put on it. It still has the pot. Like I had washed the pot, but I had left the pot there. The pot's there. They're picking up the glass, the lid, and dropping it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I open the side door there, the back side door that I get in and out of. And I slowly open it and I look out. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And here there's, I think I counted 7 horses, 7 wild horses surrounding my car, like actually surrounding my car. And all the noise I heard was them walking on the rocks. So I thought they were stirring something up. And then I heard them beating the hell out of the grill, of course. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, so what do I do? Do I get out of my car? Do I not? My guys were like, no, you can get out of your car. And I mean, I'm sitting by my car here. So I pulled up right by this fire pit because there's not a whole lot of room between these trees. But pulled up right by the fire pit with the way the shade goes. And I'm talking the fire pit's there. The horse is like here. I can reach out and touch it. I can reach out and touch it. I can go around the car, touch them. Now I didn't touch them. I reached out to try and let them smell me, but they wouldn't smell me. They just looked at me like, what are you doing? What's that about? And they stood there, and 7 of them. Now one of them was a white horse that came around, and I looked at it and I go, okay, that one looks strange. The whole night it looked strange. It was weird. And the part I forgot was when I drove into the lot, into this space, I heard them say, "We're gonna send the horses to you. We're gonna send them to be there for the night." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." Passed it off in my mind, that sort of thing. And then I felt the like spirit. There's a big, big spirit of the land somewhere. Um, Looks like juniper trees and it's just huge, like giant, and smiling and stuff. And it sent the horses. So the horses came down. Well, they were chewing on everything. They were getting on everything. I actually got on top of my car because I wasn't sure if they would be nervous with me around. So I sat on top of my car for a while watching them. And there were 7 of them. And then all of a sudden, 3 more or 4 more, I counted 11 at one point. 4 more walked up and over. And they all surrounded the car and faced outward and protected the car. That's how they protect stuff, herd animals. They get in a circle and surround it and face outward. They surrounded my car and faced outward and then went to sleep. So I'm literally like, I'm walking around them. They're asleep, but I can reach out and touch them and walk around. They don't care that I'm here for like 2 hours. It was awesome. But what was even cooler was as this is happening, I see the one that walks up over, and I had taken a watermelon rind that I had eaten and I put it into underneath one of the trees because the animals eat it, like the lizards and the mice and all that, squirrel, desert squirrels, other things will eat it. And I was like, okay, we'll see if something eats it. And I didn't do it as an offering. I did it as an offering for animals of the land. And I put it under that tree and I hid it so that nothing could really, it couldn't stand out or anything. And I go over there this morning and the horse had gone over and eaten the watermelon rind, which I didn't know they ate. It ate the watermelon rind. And then what was really cool is I'm sitting there going, oh wow, they eat watermelon rinds. I have more watermelon. I'll leave them for the horses because I have a feeling they're gonna come back. Right where the watermelon rind was, I couldn't even find it actually. I couldn't even find evidence. And I turned around from the tree and I looked down as I was like, oh, there's no evidence. Did they eat it? Did they not? Did something carry it off? And I looked down and there's like a chunk of watermelon rind that they left from biting through it. And there's 3 pieces. I'm having trouble with the camera. 3 pieces of obsidian that they had kicked up right beside it. There's no obsidian anywhere else. I looked all over the place. I haven't found any, but it was right by the watermelon, right exactly where that was. And I was like, that is awesome. I gave some stuff to the land. I was told the horses were coming. They came. They talked to me. They told me they were protecting the space. There was an energy grid work that we did, and then they all just went to sleep. And we're like, we're just gonna sleep. And so I watched them for 2 hours before going in my car. And I even told them, I was like, please let me know when you leave, and I'll say goodbye. And I was in my car and watching Spider-Man trying to fall asleep and excited and everything. And then I hear one of them do the whole whinny thing really loud behind my car. And then they all start walking and they walk by and through. So I got out of my car, got to say goodbye and went that way. So it's just, the point is if you go out and connect to animals in nature, you'll get to experience some cool stuff like that. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm running a Starseed reading Monday, and Realms of Awakening is still open too if anybody wants one-on-one sessions. Thank you. Bye.